Hey guys, it's Jimmy. Before we get going with the show, I wanted to let you know that we are on Spotify now, so you can find us there. We can't actually share the link because they break when you share them for some reason, but we're on Spotify. We also are taking submissions for questions and comments and concerns from you guys, and we'll read them on the show. You can email us at fearfrequencypodcast@gmail.com. And finally, the biggest thing you can do to help us out that we really need is some iTunes reviews and ratings. So if you're a new listener, which we had a big bump of lately, it would be awesome if you'd head over to iTunes and leave a 5-star rating and let us know what you think of the show. That's all I got for you this week, so let's get on with it. Welcome to episode 36 of Fear Frequency, guys. It's me, Jimmy Champagne, and with me today, I hope, is George Frizard. Are you here?
Hello. It's me.
He's here.
Hello.
Cool. So, as I just said, we're on Spotify. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, that's cool. It was actually a pretty painless process to get on there. I'm surprised it went as smoothly as it did.
Yeah, it took Jake and Andy, 2 months, I think, to get on there. It took us 3 days. That was pretty cool. I think Final Boys are on there too now.
Oh, nice.
So congrats to them. Another thing that I wanted to mention, though, is that I will be at the Midsummer Scream Horror Convention on July 28th and 29th. It's down in Long Beach, I think, and the reason I'm going is A, I got a press pass, so it was pretty cool, and B, Ryan Turek is bringing his Slashback video store to Midsummer Scream, and I went to a Nerdist party at the place he had that set up on Halloween, and it was really cool. So I'm excited to see the additions he'll have for that. But yeah, if you're going to Midsummer Scream, definitely let me know. I'm on Twitter at Jimmy Champagne. Just let me know, and we can meet up. That's all the housekeeping, though. How's your week going, George?
It's going pretty good. Little bit rough.
How hot is it in Michigan?
It's actually really hot. It's hotter now than it has been in a while. It's been at least 90 pretty much every day.
Dude, on Friday here, it was 123 degrees.
That's unbelievable.
No shit. Me and Austin had to run across the hall to Sun Squared's office and hole up in there because our air conditioner is so fucked that if it gets too hot and starts if it has too much of a workload, it'll start blowing hot air out of the vent.
That seems counterproductive.
Yeah, because our studio is a loft and there's a skylight right above. It's angled directly at me, Austin's back, and my face, and it just bakes you, dude. It's bad. But I was hoping that it would kind of cool down. But all the heat ended up just moving from where I work to where I live, basically. Because I work about 40 miles from where I live. So the heat just traveled west from where I work. And then on Saturday, it was so hot here. We just got a not window air conditioner. We just got a portable air conditioner. And my girlfriend and I slept in the living room on the futon because the air conditioner is out there. And it has a hose that goes in the window. And when Kelsey got up in the morning, she fucking knocked it out. So It was just blowing hot air into my living room. So when I woke up because I was dying of heat stroke. And it was 105 degrees in the apartment.
Jeez.
So I left for a few hours just trying to find things to do. I went to Michael's because they have the Halloween stuff now. I went to the grocery store and purposely did laps.
Yeah, just looking for something to stay cool.
Yeah. And then I came home and I beat Fortnite basically because you don't play Fortnite, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, so there's this thing they do. It's called a battle pass, and it works with the actual season. So every real season it changes. So the summer one is about to, or the fourth whatever it's called season is about to end, and they give you weekly challenges, and this one had 10 weeks of challenges. And I was I'm not fucking doing any of those, but I wanted to get some of the skins that come with the battle pass, because if you unlock the skins, you can't buy them. They're yours, and then if you miss it, they're gone forever.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted this one skin that you got for doing or if you did 7 out of the 10 weeks of challenges. And then Saturday, dude, I just hit it fucking hard. And I ended up doing all 7 weeks worth of challenges in one day.
Damn.
So that was kind of cool. And then I've been digging deep into Fallout 4. I completely missed the settlements the first time through, so I'm having a blast with that. And I've been dicking around in the glowing sea area. And I still need to do Nuka World and the other DLCs. There's like 3 DLCs I didn't do.
Yeah, I haven't played any of the DLC for that game, but I recently, for some reason, decided to restart Red Dead Redemption, so that's what I've been playing.
How does that look on the One X?
It actually looks really good with the 4K patch. It looks like a game that could have come out this year for sure.
It's funny, the Xbox One X I think was totally worth it because obviously like I have a 4K TV, but the reason I think it's worth it is because of how many older games I've played in 4K and how much better they look.
Yeah, I mean that almost makes it worth the price alone if you're a guy who wants to go back and play like last gen games but upgraded, because it depends on the game obviously, but some of these 4K patches look really good. Dude,
so they're fixing Master Chief Collection. Finally, they're adding 4K patches for all the games and like fixing all the bugs with the multiplayer and everything. And I really, really hope that part of that includes Reach Remaster. I would play the shit out of that.
I definitely would play that again.
That game's like 6 hours, and it's all 6 of those hours are great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting incoming transmission through my AirPod. It sounds like Dr. Loomis screaming. Do you hear that?
Yeah, I hear that too, all the way from Haddonfield, Illinois.
It's so weird how he dies every Monday. We get to hear it. The last sound he ever uttered on film. We got a Halloween alert. So we have 2 meh alerts and 1 really cool alert. So we'll get the cool one out of the way first. Our friends at Dread Central reported, they like regurgitated something from an interview Jason Blum had, where he insists that the new Halloween is not a reboot. He said the way to get people interested is to not reboot. The term makes my hair stand on the back of my neck. What we're doing with Halloween is, I guess I'll use the term reinvention. Reboot just sounds so corporate. The way we attacked Halloween was to go after what we've done with a lot of other movies. David Gordon Green and Danny McBride are not known for horror. Jordan Peele was not known for horror before Get Out. So I think we've had a lot of success mixing genres of people, not the movie. The movie's a straight scary movie. So that's like a really smart little blurb from Jason Blum. It sounds like he knows what he's doing with this movie.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Happy to, hear that it sounds like it's on track. All the pre-release stuff sounds pretty good. That first trailer that we talked about a few weeks ago looks amazing, so it's cool. I'm really excited for it. I'm really happy to see how it's been shaping up so far from everything that we've been getting lately. So I'm just waiting for that next trailer to drop, or whatever we get next, whatever next promotional material comes out.
I think he's onto something with hiring comedy directors to do horror movies. We talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, but like, Danny McBride nailed it when he said that timing is such a big thing in comedy and also horror movies. I think that was a really smart thing he said.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you see with Marvel. Marvel has taken tons of horror directors like James Gunn and Scott Derrickson, and DC took David F. Sandberg, and they're giving them these superhero movies, and except for David F. Sandberg, because we haven't seen Shazam, they all seem to be making some of the best Marvel movies. So if you can take a horror director and give them a Marvel movie or an action movie, I think you could take a comedy director and give them a horror movie and get very similar results.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I think just having someone kind of from the outside looking in gives such a unique perspective when they do things like this, that different perspective is so valuable when you're remaking a movie, or trying to have a vision of something that you wouldn't really expect. It's interesting to see how they take it, and so far it seems to be working out pretty well.
Yeah, my favorite part of the trailer was when the dog walked by and it had a huge nutsack.
That was the trailer for The Nun, Jimmy. You keep getting those confused.
Fuck, you're right. That's why they said stay till the end. So you got 2 more things, or you got one of the things. So I'll let you do this one because you seem to be pretty fired up about it before we were recording.
All right, so unfortunately, this very small, very low budget group has gotten together, and they've set out with the goal to make a shot-for-shot recreation of a few scenes from the original Halloween movie.
They say shit rolls downhill, and that is such a apt saying for the way you just read that. And I like how you started it with unfortunately. like, I mean, no disrespect to these guys, right? But
no, I'm not trying to say that they're not talented or, that they couldn't make something good. But I think that the idea of trying to make a shot-for-shot remake of the original Halloween is just something so untouchable that even the thought to go back and try it with almost zero budget is such a bad idea.
You're like, at that point, it's like you found this brick wall that is a niche, and then you went between two bricks into the mortar that is also a niche. And then you dug into the molecule of that mortar and found an even deeper niche and then made it, and are expecting people to find it, A, and B, like it. I think they're fighting a pretty hard uphill battle. And if you go on their website, it's michaeltoriginals.weebly.com. Don't even have a domain name. Already off to a great start.
Yep.
They have some promo images, and the first thing I want to point out is that they picked people who already look like the characters they're playing in terms of hair color and, I guess, kind of facial structure, but they put wigs on most of them for no reason. Like, why?
Yeah, it's really weird. The one promo image that stands out that just right off the bat doesn't look very good is the Laurie Strode with the blonde wig.
Oh, yeah.
The wig.
It's like, that is a wig.
That is like a dollar store wig that they put on this actress.
And you could do Laurie Strode with the wig right, because that's what you're looking at in the new Halloween. She's wearing a fucking wig, and it looks like her hair. So, you can't even get that right.
I mean, to be fair, these people are definitely working with a very, very low budget.
Yeah, I gotta tone it down.
It's something where it's something that the fans make because they want to remake this. It's something that it doesn't need to be remade, but they are putting effort into it, and they have almost no budget to do it. So, I mean,
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, I'm watching it July 20th when it comes out. Like, I'm gonna be there for it. I just feel like it's something that doesn't need to be made, and it's not going to be executed well because it's such a low budget. So,
I kind of get their thought process though, because presumably this is a way for the actors involved to get their name out there. And like, what's a good movie you could pick to get people's
that's true
faces in front of people who are watching? Halloween. There's a new Halloween coming out this year. Halloween was low budget as hell, so they already are working with a lower budget than a low budget movie. They don't have a high bar to clear in terms of production value.
Yeah, and it's like you said,
it's also 40 years old, so technology's gotten a lot better. Like, you could get some pretty awesome video with just your phone, and it looks like they're actually using a DSLR. So,
yeah. So I mean, good on them for attempting something this ambitious, but at the same time, it just is a fan project that doesn't seem necessary.
Yeah, and speaking of that, there's another fan film coming out from the guys who made Never Hike Alone, Womp Stomp Films. They're just kind of helping out on it. It's by Rennie Rivas. I want to say Renee, but it's a guy, so I think it's Rennie. He was a producer on Never Hike Alone. He is making a short film that was originally announced, and the trailer had a bleeding pumpkin, which looked okay, but it used the Trent Reznor Halloween theme. So already, you're using music you can't use. So I don't like that. But they released the full trailer today, and it does not look like it's going to be another Never Hike Alone. It looks a little cheaper. It doesn't... It honestly looks like... Remember Mike Bailiff, our friend from Witching Season Films?
Yeah.
It looks like they watched his Witching Season stuff and then tried their best to emulate that.
Yeah, and unfortunately it doesn't come out as good as his work for... Because the intro to the Witching Season that plays before all the anthology shorts...
Oh, yeah, he amazing. Fucking nailed it, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
Also, if you follow him on Instagram, he's like working on his feature right now, and he's been posting some really cool behind the scenes stuff, and just some of his photography is insanely good. Like, that guy is fucking talented.
He 100% has quite the eye for cinematography, and
yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing. Unfortunately, this looks a little shoddier and I don't know if we need all these like fan films around Halloween. I get that it's a property that's gaining a lot of popularity right now because it's coming back. It's been a while. People are hyped about it. People want to talk about it. People want to put their own personal spin on it. But and I get where they're coming from. It looks like the plot for this is an alternate universe where Michael doesn't get his head cut off at the end of age 20.
Oh yeah, here, let me read this. So the synopsis they have on Halloween Daily News says, this story would fall canon into an alternate age 20 universe. My story takes place 20 years after the events of age 20, so now, so very similar to the new Halloween. Let's say if the shape wasn't decapitated at the end of age 20. This is the story of what would have subsequently happened. It's a self-contained short film. It's basically a third act cat and mouse short film. We are going to have a pursuit. We're going to have our protagonist bump into the shape at some point. It escalates, and then she's put in situations where she has to defend herself and stand up to adversity. Our main character's name is Hannah, and she's 17 years old. I want to say thank you to Halloween Daily News writer for not fucking something up in the synopsis, which is a weekly occurrence for some reason on every other site. Also, this sentence, though, stand up to adversity? What the fuck does that mean? What adversity are you standing up to when you're just running from Michael Myers? Like,
yeah, it's weird because they say, like, he's gonna bump into the shape at some point and also fight adversity. So is the shape not the adversity that she's facing?
Yeah, dude, I don't get it. It just as we talk about almost on a weekly basis, the problem with all this Michael Myers stuff coming out is the more you add to him as a character, the more you ruin him as a character. You know, we don't need all this extra shit. Just, I get that there's fans out there that want to do this stuff, but they're only using the Halloween name because it'll generate a little bit of buzz, you know? Just make something original. You guys proved you can make something really cool with Never Hike Alone. And we both said you made one of the very best Friday the 13th properties ever. So it just seems like a step backwards to do this and do the same thing. You're really doing the same thing. Just take all the same people you worked with on Never Hike Alone and do something original. Like, your talent is going to waste on something that people are already going to look at with a critical eye more so than they would if you just made something original.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think this is just not necessarily the greatest idea. It doesn't seem like it would, from the trailer, it doesn't look like it's going to be executed nearly as well as Never Hike Alone. So I would prefer if they tried to make an original slasher movie, since they did kind of interesting things with taking the Friday the 13th ideas and kind of turning them on their head a little bit or adjusting them for the vision that they had for it. And I think they can do something similar to that. But it would be better if they had an original idea. And you don't even really necessarily need to have too much backstory for the slasher or anything. It's just, it seems like if they had good techniques or good set pieces that they wanted to use, they can fit it into kind of a generic slasher mold, and it would be probably better than this.
You could make like a homage rather than a fan film.
Yeah.
Like fan film just has such a negative connotation, but I honestly feel like it's sort of deserved. Like, it's, I don't want to like overstep here, but I just kind of feel like if you're seriously trying to make film, the fan film is a good place to start, honestly, because it means you're watching something, you're analyzing it, and you're pulling out the best parts of it and hopefully recreating them on screen. But that seems like something you should try and move on from, you know?
Right. You shouldn't fixate on it. It should be, they had a successful fan film that was, you know, based on Friday the 13th. So at this point, maybe take it a step above and make an original property, or
they've shown their talent.
Exactly.
You know, it's frustrating. It's not like, I'm not trying to dump on it. I'm frustrated about this move. Does that make, like, is that fair?
Yeah, it seems like we've been saying, it's a waste of their talents, and it could be something that they could utilize better if they just maybe, adjusted their ideas a little bit.
Yeah. So, because of that, I am not too stoked. But it comes out October 1st on YouTube, so we'll be able to watch it. We'll definitely talk about it on the show. And then also we didn't mention that the other fan film, the Shot for Shot, that comes out on July 20th. So that one's a lot sooner.
Yeah.
So we got some things to, I guess, look forward to. So next on here, I found this weird story. So if you guys have ever seen Creep, which George and I both have, we love Creep. We talked about Creep 2 on here. The house from Creep, I guess Mark Duplass owned it. He bought it for Creep, and he just sold it for $250,000. It's in California. It's in Northern California, and it looks pretty nice. Like for $250,000, like damn, dude, it's a pretty big house.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's weird that he owned it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool cabin, and it, like, you can tell it definitely is the interiors that they used in the movie, and it was shot there. So it's interesting to see that, you know, it was a house that he'd owned, shot the movie in, and I mean, honestly, it looks pretty nice in there. But I don't know if I'd feel
nice in the movie.
I don't know if I'd feel comfortable living there after seeing the movie, because, you know, it takes on such a different feel after you see Peach Fuzz walking around the halls and stuff.
Do you think he'll leave a Peach Fuzz mask in the bath, is what I meant to say.
Oh, I hope so. I hope there's just a Peach Fuzz mask, like, in every room it's somewhere.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add here. I just thought that was
No, I think it's cool.
It's sold.
I thought it's weird that they would use the exterior and the interior, you know, like it was...
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so next on here, Zachary Lehman wrote a list over on Bloody Disgusting about 10 horror franchises that are practically begging to be revived, and I thought we'd give our opinion on those. So, first on here, George, he's got Blade. How do you feel about a Blade revival?
I'd be kind of happy to see Blade come back.
Yeah, Blade was one of those things where one was really good, and then the other one, and I think there was a third one, they didn't like them so much.
Yeah, I think the concept of Blade having a vampire hunter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is kind of cool, because it can add a little bit of a darker edge. You know, if it's something that would come back as canon in the official MCU, it'd be interesting to have more introduced supernatural creatures into that universe in some way.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think Blade as a character is cool. And
right. This guy's making a strong case for them to bring back Wesley Snipes and give him a send-off a la Logan. It is so different. It is such a different situation, dude. Like,
I disagree with that. I know
Wesley Snipes is the reason that I heard that the sequels are so bad, because he was just such a huge dick on set and had way too much input on, like, plot and stuff.
I saw something going around a few months ago with John Boyega did a tribute to Blade where he got the same, like, the Blade haircut.
That would be cool, dude.
And, I mean, I think he's a really good actor. He might be my pick for if they were to reboot it and bring it into MCU. I think he'd be good as Blade.
There was something where he either, like, fell asleep or something on the set, and they just, like, moved his body around, or...
Well, I think...
They shot... What was the... There's, like, some rumor, right?
I think on Blade 2 and 3, Wesley Snipes was pretty much hammered for the entire...
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what it was.
Filming process, and Ryan Reynolds is in the second or the third one, and he just said that it was a bad experience.
What if they got the dude from the First Purge, the main guy, the gangster? What was his name?
Dimitri.
Dimitri. Yeah, that guy'd be a cool Blade.
Yeah, I think he definitely would fit
an up-and-comer Blade.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely fits the physicality of it. He's ripped in the First Purge.
Yeah, and he nailed the fighting scenes. He was so much better at fight choreography than anyone else in the movie.
Yeah, I think
we'll talk about more.
He'd be a good fit also. I wouldn't think of him right off the bat, but I agree he'd be a really good fit.
All right, so this next one I totally agree with. Final Destination. That shit needs to come back immediately.
Yeah, we were just talking about this too. Like, I think last episode that this would be kind of a fun series to bring back. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think this kind of horror movie kind of went by the wayside when the last one went. Like, we don't get many movies anymore where it's like a bunch of teens get together and then they all get murdered.
Yeah, we really don't. You're right. Like, I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream and this one and all that shit. I missed that. That was always cool.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun archetype that I think
And we got it with Final Destination. That sucked. Or not. What am I talking about? Fucking Truth or Dare. And Ouija. Like, the Lazarus Effect. Like, those are 3 movies where I feel like they tried to go for it, but they went too serious with all those movies. And they didn't play into the campiness.
Yeah. And
like Final Destination always did.
Yeah, that's something that was getting kind of oversaturated in the late 90s, early 2000s, where it was coming out like every year they were having one of these. But I think there's been enough time to let it breathe a little bit, and I think it could come back and people would be really excited to go to the theaters and see it.
It's just such a strong concept that I feel like it needs to come back.
Yeah, I agree. It's totally fun, and I would go I think it's like one of the perfect summer horror movies.
Yeah, he's got Friday the 13th on here, but like that's an illegal battle, so not gonna fuck with that. Nightmare on Elm Street, obviously that should come back. Some of these feel like you just put them on here so you could get to 10, but going back to Final Destination. He says, imagine the franchise having its reins handed off to someone like Darren Aronofsky. I cannot think of a worse fucking idea, dude.
I would hate that so much.
Not to call this dude out, but like. There's many more people. He says Eli Roth could provide an appropriate
sequel. Also would
sequel.
hate
that. I don't know. I want Eli. I really want Eli Roth to have a comeback. Like I really do. But I kind of agree with you. I really would love the guys who did Clown to make one.
Yeah, I think
they would kill it, dude. Like they got that dark humor nailed like perfectly. That goes. What are their names? Clown. When did that come out? 2013.
Yeah.
It was shot in 2013. It came out last year. I think 2014. Who the fuck are they? What are your guys' names?
Or if we could get Simon Barrett to do one.
Simon Barrett to write one?
Yeah.
And Adam Wingard to direct it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bring Adam Wingard back from Kong vs. Godzilla.
Yeah. I think
John Watts was the director of Clown.
Okay. Yeah, I really like Clown. And I think that combo of Barrett and Wingard is really strong. I think.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, they didn't necessarily nail the good characters in Blair Witch, but I think in movies like The Guest or is Your Next them or?
Yeah, that was them. That was their big feature.
Yeah,
debut.
And I think Your Next nailed it. So I think it's like they're batting 2 for 3. So I think they could nail it with another one.
Yeah, again, Blair Witch. I don't know. I get why it's bad, but I think they were onto something with it.
Oh, completely. I don't think. Yeah. I think it gets more shit than it deserves.
I think they could do a good sequel if they ever got the chance, which they wrote. So who knows? But this next one on here he lists, I would definitely love a reboot of Candyman.
Yeah.
So Candyman is, if you guys don't know, which you probably know, it's basically the Bloody Mary story, but a little bit different.
Yeah, kind of a modern retelling.
Yeah, you say Candyman 3 times, this guy who's made of beads comes to kill you, and he has a hook hand. It's pretty dope. And it's got the Arby's guy in it. And he's in Final Destination.
I think this series kind of was squandered before it had the opportunity to really get good. I think the first one is such an interesting concept and is executed.
Wait, there's more than one?
Yeah, isn't there more than one Candyman?
Have you seen it? The second one?
Is there a second one? I'm pretty sure there's a second one.
I believe you. I just didn't know. I kind of want to watch it if there is.
I'm pretty sure there's a second one, maybe a third one. I could be wrong.
Just kind of fucks? Like, it's not good?
Like, as far as I know, they're not very good. But I think that the concept
Candyman,
of it...
Farewell to the Flesh, 1995.
Do we get a Rotten Tomatoes reading on that or no?
I can get you one. Hang on. Reception, 27.
Pretty bad.
That's not... yeah, bad. Owen Gleibler of Entertainment Weekly gave it a D.
Okay. Yeah, so it seems like the overwhelming general opinion is that the sequels were underwhelming. So
if they could do a pass the torch thing with Tony Todd coming back, and like he has to pick a new Candyman because I don't know, he's dying or something. Wouldn't that be cool?
I'd be into that. That'd be a cool idea for sure. I think.
Yeah, instead of being like racist as fuck like those Leprechaun movies got, they could do a really cool like black horror movie like this. That'd be sweet. They got someone cool like that guy from The Purge. That guy's awesome. Cast him in some shit.
Yeah,
I think he'd be great for a reboot of Candyman.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that dark horror, like the dark comedy horror movies, are kind of been lacking lately. So it'd be fun to see something like this come back. That's a little campier. You can have some fun with more. So
yeah. You could do some really cool modern stuff with it. Horror movies obviously fuck up social commentary a lot, but this movie was really strong. I think Southside Chicago, it had some commentary on that. I feel like you could modernize some of the commentary in this movie really well, like really easily.
Yeah, I agree.
I think this one is definitely ripe for a reboot. He says the Mangler. I don't know what that is, so we're gonna skip it. Anyone knows what the Mangler is, let us know. I'm sure fucking R.L. Slime knows what it is. Should give a shit about it. Hostel.
I'm done with that series. I don't really want to see another one. The third one was so bad that I'm pretty much... I didn't even think the first one's that good. I just think the first one was so shocking and different that it stood out at the time.
The first one's unwatchable now. It's so just dumb. It's so bad.
Right, but I'm saying the reason that series ever gained any popularity was just because it was something that was so...
Oh, yeah.
Hugely different and just kind of out there that it gained a lot of word of mouth, and I don't think it was ever actually that good of a series.
I agree. It's not that great. I like when the girl cuts her eye off, though, and the goop comes out of it.
Yeah, I do like that.
That's pretty cool. That's a good gore part. He has Toxic Avenger on here. That's already happening, so skip that. Hills Have Eyes. Ironically, I just watched the remake of Hills Have Eyes, and I watched the sequel because they're both on Prime.
Mm-hmm.
That's one I think we could just keep in the ground.
You wouldn't be too keen to see another Hills Have Eyes?
The remake was already just so good that I don't think they'll top it, and I feel like the remake just told the story. I don't think there's much more to tell there. We already have 5 Wrong Turn movies, which are just Hills Have Eyes in a different location.
And campier and dumber, but
yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't be upset if I got another one, but I'm not clamoring for it.
Yeah. I'd be that's smart. If Blumhouse did it, I'd be probably on board,
Yeah.
But yeah, the last thing on here, I already closed the article, but I don't really care. So, yeah, I mean, we always talk shit about reboots and remakes, but if they're going to happen, they're going to happen. And I feel like this guy nailed it on a few of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think some of these are ripe for a comeback. I think some of them kind of didn't get their time to shine, or would, Final Destination would be something cool to come back and kind of revitalize that series, since it's a good concept.
I feel like if they brought that back right around now, it would be perfect, because there'd be younger kids who would be into it,
Yeah.
Make their parents let them go see it, and then there'd be people our age, like me and your age, that would really be excited to have more come back, because I feel like Final Destination was big with people our age, more than the older people that are running the horror game right now.
I think they're gonna wait a little bit to try to get that nostalgia factor up a little bit more before they have us come back to the theater for it, since they're still focusing on 80s reboots at this point. So I think maybe in the next 10 years or so we'll see Final Destination come back.
Yeah, and then we won't care anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got some good news here for you. Well, I don't know if you actually like this or not, but Castlevania is coming back for season 2 on October 26th.
I am excited
for this. It's right before Halloween.
Yeah, I really liked the first season. I mean,
I did too. I loved it.
I thought that it definitely felt like it was almost a trailer in a sense for a full movie, because it was relatively short and it ends on a massive
it's a 2-hour total thing.
Yeah, and it just ends in the middle of the climax basically. Right. So that kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth, but I think the animation style is excellent. And
when he whips that guy's eyeball out.
Yeah, when he whips his eyeball out. I think the animation's excellent. The story is very gothic, and the art is amazing. And so I agree. I'm into that show for sure, and I can't wait for the second season.
Yeah, and Warren Ellis, again, is the writer of Dead Space, so I'm glad that guy's still involved. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the story was interesting too. I just thought that it kind of sucked that it ended in the middle of the climax instead of being a complete story.
That Bloodstained throwback, like 8-bit version for $10 on Switch. That game's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of Castlevania, yeah, it's just like an old Castlevania with 4 characters. It's got like 6 levels or something. It's so worth $10.
I'm into that.
It took me like 4 or 5 hours to beat it. Like, it's a substantial game.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to pick that up.
The actual Bloodstain game kind of looks weird. Like, it's got those big titty anime girls.
Oh, yeah.
If that's your thing, more power to you. It's just not my thing. Like, I really like Castlevania. I like the direction that was going.
Yeah.
More than, whatever, Akiba's Strip. The Vita game. But the next thing on this news list is a quick one. NECA upgraded their action figure for the Fog with glowing LED eyes. And this is the one that we talked about a couple months ago, where Cavity Colors is doing the like blister pack art. Mm-hmm. So this thing is even cooler.
Yeah, and I believe that was our idea that they stole from us, because we said they needed
Was that our idea?
He had to wirelessly charge through his ass when he sat down.
Oh, yeah! Fuck, dude, that was our idea! Well, yeah, we said his eyes should glow. Shit! They stole our idea. I doubt he... Do you think he charges through his ass?
I doubt it. I think that they probably came up with a different system because they don't want us to come after them for all they're worth, but...
I completely forgot.
But I believe we did say he should have glowing eyes or smoke come out of his mouth and should charge through his ass.
Ah, shit, that's so funny. I can't believe I forgot that.
We'll have to go back and review the tapes.
That's hilarious, dude. No, you're right. I remember. I distinctly remember you saying the smoke thing. And I remember the ass charging. There's one more thing I'm gonna like stealth add on you right now.
Yeah.
So the major Predator reshoots got detailed. I just saw this. I'm posting the link here right now for you on Bloody Disgusting. They have a report about it. So we talked about this, I think, last week. One of the big plot points of this was that they were going to have hybrid predators, where it's like a predator mixed with a scorpion or a spider.
Yeah.
And they were going to be friendly predators that help the humans fight off the like hybrid ones. And apparently the reshoots got rid of all that shit. So now it's just, there's one predator who's like normal, and then there's going to be one or multiple uber predators. So it looks like the humans are going to team up with the normal predator to kill the super predator. Or predators. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I thought the other idea was kind of fun, personally. I thought the idea of fusing predators with other things to make more crazy creations was cool, but I can see if they didn't look the best and didn't really serve a plot purpose, why it'd be better to just cut them out and maybe reshoot it to make the plot a little more cohesive.
Yeah, they apparently shot way more scenes to tie it to Predator 1 and 2 and even Alien vs. Predator, which I don't get how they do that, but I'm glad they're tying it into the other movies to make it a tried and true sequel.
Yeah, and I think usually reshoots are for the better in general. I think as much as I think the idea was cool to have fusions, I think if the reshoots make it a better movie, make it more, make the plot stronger, or cut out things that were really weak, maybe they couldn't get the CGI completely right for them, I think that's better than seeing something not executed well.
I agree, and there's one character that's still in it, the Predator dog, which is like a hybrid of a dog and a predator. That thing's going to be a good guy, and I'm almost positive it's going to be like friendly with the little kid. Mm-hmm. So whatever on that, but all death sequences involving the more prominent characters have been completely changed, and the final battle with Upgrade takes place at night in the woods. So those are all good changes, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds cool, for sure. So
they are really committed to making this not bad.
Yeah, I thought the first trailer looked pretty bad, but, I mean, the more that comes out about it, the more I'm coming back around, being more interested in it, so we'll have to wait and see what else comes out about it. Yeah,
so apparently you have some audio poster reviews for us this week.
Yeah, so there's a new 3 from Hell poster featuring Captain Spaulding, and it is just another mugshot picture, so it's very similar to the shirt that we were bitching about last week. that Sherry Moon Zombie wears. And
got her titty on it.
With Captain Spaulding's titties are not out. He looks like it's all in black and white, and it's a mugshot, but instead of it saying his name on it, it just says a Rob Zombie film, 3 from Hell. And he's standing there with no makeup on, looking extremely old. Very raggedy beard.
That's the only person I'm excited to see in this movie. He is like the only thing that makes me want to see this movie. He's my favorite character from House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. Yeah. Like, he's great.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely steals the show in 2. What little
Aren't
there
we
is.
Fucking funny.
Don't we make you laugh? But, so it's a kind of mediocre poster. It kind of gets me a little more excited, but not really. I'm just kind of...
Yeah, I want to see a trailer.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that gets me excited is because I'm assuming he's going to be the best part of the movie, so just confirming that he's in it and alive is good, I guess.
Cool. So what's your score on that one?
This is like a 3. 3 out of 10.
10? Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. So we got 2 more posters, though.
So... there's some fan-made posters based on the original posters that came out for Suspiria. So this artist came in and kind of themed these to look like the original posters, but obviously for the remake. And his name is... I'm definitely going to butcher it again. Surya?
Yeah?
Shikar.
Yeah! You did it.
So... sorry if I butchered that name.
I don't know if that's right, but it looks right.
It looks right. That's the closest I can get. But these posters
look... Surya.
Yeah, these posters look really cool. So the first one has some Japanese text or calligraphy going down vertically, and it gives the different studios involved with it. And it says in theaters November with the original Suspiria font, and it's all black until the bottom fourth of it, where you see. So the main character's hair coming out with her hands looking like they're dragging on the floor below it, and it says, "Tremble, tremble, the witches are back."
I like that.
That is really cool.
And I want to get that as a tattoo.
Yeah, it has some tattered edges around the side to make it look like an old book or something, and I think this is just really well designed and just looks amazing. Gets me really hyped for the
It looks
reboot.
like our album art.
Yeah, it looks like the original poster and the cover for the Goblin album based on the movie.
Hell yeah. So what's the second one?
Second one says Listen for the Whispers, and then it says Suspiria, directed by I'm also going to butcher this name, Luca
Guadagnino.
Luca Guadagnino.
Yeah.
Luca Guadagnino. And I really like the color scheme for this one. It's kind of a pale pink background with just splashes of green and a little bit more hot pink for some of the lettering.
Yeah, I like that color scheme.
Yeah, and it just shows one of the main characters with looks like she's all wet and her hair's down, maybe a bit distressed, possibly out in the rain. Maybe that'll be part of the opening sequence of the film. But yeah. I like the Listen for the Whispers and the Tremble, Tremble, the witches are back. I think those are really cool taglines. And I just think these posters are super well designed. I'm surprised they're fan-made because they're really that good.
Yeah, they should use them for the movie, in my opinion. That's those are both great.
Yeah, they're really well designed. I just thought they look cool, and I wanted to give it a shout out. And they even make me more excited for the movie.
Yeah, that's one of my most anticipated this year, dude. No question. So next on here. We have something really cool. My friend Alex, friend of the show, Alex, who owns Broke Horror Fan, he's releasing Victor Crowley on VHS, and he nailed the price point on these. They're $20. You can get one of 3 versions. So there's a 300 limited version, there's a 150 limited version, and there's an exclusive one that's limited to 50 on witterentertainment.com, and it's signed by the artist. So they all look really cool. I don't know. I feel like this is just a no-brainer. If you're a fan of Hatchet, you should just go buy this now.
Yeah, I agree. I think first off, it's really cool that Alex even was able to get these made to, be able to convert, make an officially licensed VHS for a movie that came out in 2018 is just cool.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
But the art looks great. Like you said, the price point is right there where it needs to be, and these are just a really cool collector's item.
Yeah, and they go on sale on July 13th, which is Friday the 13th, so this Friday, at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, at witterentertainment.com, and Adam Green's ariscope.com will be selling a limited amount of the standard and bloody versions autographed by Adam himself. So if you're a fan of, the Hatchet series, you should definitely buy this, and they all look really good. I'm like super happy that this is happening for Alex. He's been pretty excited about this. I've known about this for a really long time, and I'm glad it's actually like finally happening. And if they sell really well, I don't know. Something tells me he might do some other movies in the future. So you might want to go just buy one of these. And I actually have a VHS player that connects to HDMI.
Oh, that's perfect.
So I'm gonna watch it.
Watch it in VHS. That'll be really, really cool.
I have two of them. I got one from Resident Evil 7, and I got one from Outcast.
Oh, nice.
Both of those PR companies sent me HDMI VHS players in the mail.
Damn.
So yeah. I totally forgot this next thing was on here, but we're going to have fun with this, dude. Last thing to talk about this week. So, guys, you know how much we love Child's Play here at Fear Frequency, and we are so excited for the TV show. We are stoked about Cult of Chucky and whatever's coming next, but MGM was so stoked that they fast-tracked a remake with a technologically advanced killer doll. So, Brad Dourif is not involved at all. Don Mancini is not involved at all. They might not even be able to use the Chucky name. So I guess the part of the reason that Don Mancini's like franchise Child's Play thing only comes to home video is because Universal only owns home video rights for the Child's Play franchise, but MGM owns the theatrical rights. And I guess they offered Don Mancini executive producer credit on this, and he turned him down, and Brad Dourif turned him down too. So I feel like this is just going to be totally different, like not even involved whatsoever.
I mean, we don't have very much information to go off of, but it sounds like it was an idea that they could have put the Child's Play name on, but they also could ditch it if they couldn't get the rights to it. You know what I mean? It feels like something where they wanted an idea that could be fit. So if they can get the rights and get the Child's Play name on it, more people will see it, obviously, because there's a bunch of diehard fans of the series that would go out and see it. But if they couldn't get those, they could still release it as just its own killer doll movie, call it whatever it is. And, because it really isn't that. It feels like it wouldn't have to be that different plot-wise. Either it'll have the good guys doll thing, or it'll be just someone else.
I don't think it's going to reference Chucky. I don't think there's going to be a good guy doll. I think this is going to be a totally original thing that's just using the Child's Play name. And also, a lot of people were worried about the TV show and future movies. Don Mancini and Universal confirmed that the TV show is still coming out and future movies are happening, like future direct-to-DVD ones. So the actual Child's Play franchise is going to continue, but this one's going to come to theaters and just be totally different.
Yeah, so it's just a strange cash grab using the name.
It's stupid. Like, they don't need to reboot something that's still happening. Like, it's just dumb. Also, there's two producers from It on this movie, which kind of makes me think they're going to go for the, 80s It style, like Stranger Things style vibe, where it's more focused on the kids surviving and rather than them all dying horrifically.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Seems like a big, dumb fucking idea, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get the whole technologically advanced killer doll. Like, is it going to be Small Soldiers remake, or... I don't really understand the... Like, is it...
That's a deep cut.
AI-based? Like, what does that mean? Technologically advanced killer doll. I don't know. I'm not excited for it. Just... I mean, I wouldn't even be excited for it if it didn't have any Child's Play name to it attached to it at all. It just seems like kind of a half-baked idea. I mean, we don't have that many details yet, but I don't know. A technologically advanced killer doll just doesn't sound like a good premise for a movie.
Yeah, and when I say fast-tracked, it's coming out next year. Like, they are starting filming this very soon. Like, this September, I heard, was when they're going to start filming this.
So there's plenty of time to make this a real quality product.
I think they're just trying to get it out before Universal can come up with any legal way to stop them from making it.
Yeah.
You know?
That sounds about right, honestly.
It's just bizarre. It's just, what a stupid franchise that Child's Play has become. Just like, I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the TV show, though. I'm sure that'll be great. I honestly am excited to see what they can come up with for a 10-hour series for Child's Play.
I want to know what the plot is, but I feel like it won't be good.
Yeah.
It's just, it feels so tired at this point. There's a little bit of hope when, what was it? Curse of Chucky was the first comeback, to the series. I actually like that movie, but
yeah, that's a really good movie.
Everything after that has just really been like turning me off to the whole franchise. Yeah. So I'm not excited for this. Was
terrible.
I'm not excited for the TV show. I'm just kind of ready to put Chucky to bed.
Yeah, take out his batteries. So that wraps up the news. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about the First Purge. All right, guys, we're back from our quick break here, and this week we're talking about the First Purge. So, if you're a newer listener, George and I are both pretty big fans of the Purge franchise. The first one's okay, but we both really liked 2, and we both thought 3 was really good. But we weren't necessarily excited for this new one because it seemed like it was just going to be a rehash, and that's exactly what it was. This movie fucking sucks, dude. I'm not even gonna pull any punches with it. This movie is terrible.
I'm gonna say it's easily the worst of the Purge franchise.
By a mile.
Yeah.
Like, before they bottomed out at okay, this one is just awful.
Yeah, this one had very, very little redeeming qualities. I have a few things to say about it that I do kind of like. So before we really get into just dumping all over it, I'd like to say that one of the things they introduce in this movie is the idea that that is a social experiment, the First Purge. So they have these contact lenses that they're supposed to wear when they're committing crimes to monitor what's going on. And the effect in some scenes adds a little bit of creepiness. It's just like a blue ring in the eyes. And it's weird. They sometimes aren't blue. They sometimes change color. They have no reference
sometimes
to
they're green, sometimes
why
they're
they
orange,
change color. There's no really indication. There's one scene where one of the characters is wearing these, the guy who commits the first kill on the First Purge, and when he kills someone, the lights change color. And then
Skeletor?
Yeah, when Skeletor kills somebody, they change from blue to red, I think. And then when he kills somebody else, they change to purple. But
what?
There's not really like any indication to why they change, and there's other people that changed, and it's like, do the colors indicate anything, or they don't want it all to be blue? What is it?
I didn't even notice that. That's crazy.
But I think there are certain scenes where there'll be like someone looking through a window, and all you can see is the lit up eyes, and I think that was like actually generally added some kind of creepiness to the movie. And the weird thing is, it starts off as a pretty, like, the first, after you get rid of all the politics angle, after they explain what the Purge is, and you see one of the main characters, Isaiah, go out on Purge night by himself, that initial sequence of him walking around is kind of creepy.
Yeah, when the people are looking at him in the alley, and then they fuck it up with the ladies who... Yep. This movie, for some reason, thinks baby dolls are scary. There's these ladies who are listening, who are like blasting 80s music with a shopping cart full of baby dolls that have...
And teddy bears.
Yeah, that have firecrackers in them. They're not even like C4. It's just so stupid and not scary and not even funny. It's just dumb. Like, it's fucking dumb. And... I did like the eye thing, but why don't they use those in the future? Like, why did that go away? You know, you'd think they'd want to collect data every year on the Purge just to know about it.
Also, when Isaiah's wearing them, at one point he realizes that wearing them is kind of a hindrance because people can see you and they can come after you if they see them in your eyes. So he takes out his contacts because he doesn't want people to see his eyes. And then, at that point in the movie, no one else ever wears them ever again. Ever.
Yeah, I did notice that. And there's this weird foreshadowing moment where there's something that happens where there's, like, blood on the floor at one point, and then another character brings it up, and a character's like, oh, I thought I cleaned that up. And you think that's, like, some subtlety and foreshadowing, but it's just like an innocuous statement that for no reason. It's so dumb.
And that's not the only innocuous statement that just is thrown in there that seems like, I don't know if they had a different version, but there's one scene, this isn't really a spoiler, but Dr. Updale, who's played by Marissa Tomei, is...
Yeah, she's wasted.
Yeah,
totally
completely wasted.
In the movie for 10 seconds. Fucking so dumb.
She's in the main control center, and she's analyzing the data since it's her idea to do the Purge. Like, it's her experiment, basically, to test the human psyche while they do this. Is it good for people? You know, what are the effects of the Purge? And so, at one point, she's watching the data, and she's like, it's weird. It seems like people who wear masks commit more crimes or do more violent things. And then they never do anything with that ever again.
Yeah, they just wanted to introduce the idea that people wear masks during the Purge because that movie is... Like, this franchise has always looked for some sort of identity with that shit. And I guess, like, the weird masks have become its thing. So I want to explain it. The other weird thing is I have no idea what Marissa Tomei's motivations were whatsoever. They do nothing to explain her character at all. She's just there. She's just there. She's like, I came up with this idea. Like, sweet. Good for you.
Yeah, so...
we were so right about it just being a rehash and totally wasting Staten Island as a setting.
Yep.
And you know, this is the thing that pissed me off the most. So they show this in the trailers where it turns out that like no one's really killing each other. There's just this one fucking psychopath named Skeletor whose his whole character is that he's fucking crazy. He's a crazy guy. He's who you should be scared of. He is the best weapon ever. I just want to point out 3 syringes taped to his hand. He never uses them. Ever. He just looks at them like 3 times. But anyways, they introduce this plot point where the government gets upset that no one's really killing each other. So they bring in soldiers and like ex-Blackwater people and everything. But they explain it so poorly that it's misconstrued as one of the groups is dressed up like the KKK, right?
Yeah.
So the way the movie explains it makes you think that they're not actually KKK people, but that the government made a soldier squad dress up like the KKK to make it look like the KKK was coming in.
Yep.
Why does that need to be an element? Why wouldn't you just make the movie... Let me fix this movie really quick. So Naya and Isaiah, take them out of the movie. They don't even need to be in this movie. Isaiah's like a cool character. I thought he did a good job acting. He doesn't need to be in this movie. Their plotline is stupid. It jumps between like 3 different characters at any given time for no reason. Dimitri, best character in this movie, best arc. I don't know why he wasn't in the movie any more than he was, but this movie would be so much better if it was him versus neo-Nazis and the KKK. Like, they come in to Staten Island, they come after these people, these real white supremacists who we know exist in real life.
Yeah.
They come into Staten Island, right? And the Dimitri, the drug dealer, Kingpin, who's the leader of Staten Island, basically, he's like the big dog.
Yeah.
He ends up having to defend all of these people who don't want to like be evil and kill people against the real KKK and the real neo-Nazis. Because don't you think if there was an actual purge, even if it was a test case like this, don't you think like the KKK would somehow end up there?
Right. Violent hate groups would go out to commit crimes. They would be going. They would say tonight it's legal to kill whatever group they hate, and they would go out and commit those crimes.
Yeah.
So that
and then you get the glorification of watching them die on screen.
Right. But
like you could have hit home so hard. You could have hit the biggest home run with this movie just by doing that. But it's rated R, For some reason, it's rated R. It doesn't really need to be because all the blood looks like shit. It is some of the worst CGI blood I've ever seen in a movie. It's honestly like they went on YouTube and typed green screen blood effect and then just dragged and dropped it. Didn't even track it half the time. It is fucking horrible. There's a part where it lands on the camera, but it just doesn't even... It's... Oh my god, it's so bad. They fucked up everything they wanted to do with this movie. Every single aspect they messed up. Somehow.
Yeah, I think the writing is absolute terrible. It is so bad. There's so many plot holes. There's so many elements to it that make no sense at all. There's like one direct line that's supposed to be political commentary, but it's executed so poorly that it's just stupid.
Are you talking about the pussy grabbing joke?
Yep. That's it.
That they did. I swear to fucking God, I will give whoever proves me wrong on this $5. I do not even think they had Lex Scott Davis record that line for ADR. I think they just added it in. They were like, hey, can we get someone who kind of sounds like her to just yell pussy grab motherfucker? That whole scene too is just so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, no one would do that. No one just goes, and like rubs the outside of a girl's pants. Like, who the fuck would ever do that, dog? Seriously. Like, come on.
One of the big things we touched on a little bit earlier, but this is like a big plot hole that sticks out to me that it makes no sense. So, like you said, they bring out these military groups, like mercs, and they dress them up as different, like KKK or, you know, whatever, like hate groups.
And one of them's just a BDSM guy for no reason.
Yeah. And also, after the first kill in the Purge is committed, they play it on TV. And I don't understand the logic of not only dressing the mercs up as hate groups or showing the murder on TV, because why would that incentivize people to go out and do anything? If I saw that the KKK was out and that this Skeletor is going out and slicing people up with his knife, I would stay indoors even more. I wouldn't go out at all.
Yeah.
I would do the opposite of what they want me to do.
You know what else is really dumb? The new Founding Fathers of America, their logo suddenly looks like fucking North Korea's logo. Like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck? I get that some people think things are really bad in America right now. Nowhere near North Korea level. Nowhere even close. They're not even in the same fucking league. And you're gonna pull that shit, make it look like your social commentary is like so smart that you're like, look, the two-party system didn't work, so this third North Korean party took over. Isn't that wild? That could totally happen with Donald Trump as president. It's like, shut up, dude. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. You didn't earn any of this at all. And I saw people getting upset that there's like social commentary in this movie. Those people didn't watch the other three. The other three had subtlety, like to a degree. They knew how to have like a good story that made you ask yourself tough questions about like the state of the affairs, where how people think about each other, how people act when, you know, there are no rules and all this shit. This movie, it's just such a big step backwards in every way. It feels like a direct-to-DVD movie in terms of like how close it hits the other three. They don't even feel like the same franchise, honestly.
No, the writing is a massive step down, and it's weird because it's the same guy who wrote the other three. I looked it up because I couldn't believe that it'd be the same writer, but it is. And the writing's a huge step down. The editing is so weird. Like you said, the CGI blood is bad. There's one scene where it just cuts to black for 1 second, and everything cuts out, and then it comes back, and it feels soup. Did you see that when you saw it?
Yeah, no, dude. Trust me. Editing, my favorite thing to point out in movies. It is so bad in this. Hi, professional editor here. Whoever edited this movie did a really bad job. Like, sorry, I'm sure they were directed poorly. I bet they're a great editor. And they were just directed to edit in a bit poor way, but fuck, man. I don't understand how you make 3 movies. You have 3 movies in the bag, and you fuck it up this bad on the 4th one. It's just bizarre to me. The blood is unexcusable.
Yeah,
it is unexcusable
definitely.
that a movie was released, wide release theatrically, with effects at that level. It's not even amateur. It is lazy. My least favorite thing to anyone's ever said about a game or a movie is to call the people who make them lazy. But the people who did the effects in this, or whoever was calling the shots on the people doing those effects, it's just fucking lazy. There's no other way to put it. You can see a shot in the trailer of the CGI blood when I think it's Dimitri slits a guy's throat running down a hallway. That's in the trailer. That is probably the best example of the CGI blood in the whole movie. Honestly. Like it's just I'm like lost for words on how bad this
it's pretty
is.
inexcusably
Especially
bad.
from Blumhouse. Like if it's from Blumhouse, dude, like come on.
Right, and it's one of their flagship series. I mean, The Purge is a series that they put on other movies. You know, they say from the producers of The Purge, Get Out, and like whatever, or Happy Death Day usually. But like this is one of their flagship series. They release one of these almost every single year. I mean, it's like it's supposed.
You want to talk about the other stupid thing in here, the Halloween Easter egg? I'm using Easter egg so loosely. So the apartment Isaiah and Naya live in, it's in the projects in New York, and it's a real bad place. Like there's ceiling drips, there's cockroaches and all this stuff. The kid's room is literally zero decorations whatsoever, except for a Halloween poster just taped to the wall for the new Halloween.
Yep.
Like, come on, man. It's like, don't even bother at that point.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking weak-ass attempt.
Yeah, I think...
Like, now this movie is connected to Halloween in some way. It's just a joke. It's because Universal's doing it.
Yeah, but, I mean, all the social commentary is terrible. It's not well thought out. It's not well written. The plot
there's just there's a cockiness to it, right?
Yeah.
Like, does that make do you agree with that? Like
it definitely has an air of it thinks it's smarter than it is. We've said this before, but that's the thought of this, and this one more so than the other ones, because it tries to bank off of like what the other ones did, where I mean, they're not perfect movies. Purge 1, 2, and 3 aren't perfect. The second one is like better than the other two by a mile, and
yeah, the second one's the Fast Five of the franchise.
Sure. And this one tries to bank off that and be like, yeah, I'm like all these guys, right? And it's like, no, your writing is terrible, your characters suck, your action scenes are terrible, the plot makes no sense. I mean, it's 100% bad to its core. It tries to do something interesting with the eyes and a couple other things that are kind of creepy, and then it wrecks them instantly. I mean, nothing that it does has any weight to it, and everything falls apart as soon as it's introduced. It's just so poorly put together, poorly executed, poorly written. Everything about it just feels bad.
And then with this TV show, they're just doing another Purge. It's just going to be a 10-hour Purge. I would love to see a show on how America got so bad in this universe to where a third party swooped in and took over, and it's like a fascist regime. I think that is really interesting, and they just gloss over it. It's like a 5-second montage at the beginning. And they use stock footage of Detroit in the intro that's just not even like from a apocalyptic Detroit. Mm-hmm. It's like a glamour shot of Motor City Casino. Okay. It's just like a normal glamour shot. It's like from a Chrysler commercial or something. It's like, what are you trying to show?
I kind of disagree with that point. I think that the idea of the Purge of, yes, once a year, 12 hours, all crime is legal. I think just setting that up and just saying, yep, in this universe, this is how it works.
Yeah.
Works, and the more you dig into the politics, the dumber it gets, and the worse it is. The harder it is. No,
but for a TV show, I'd rather see the politics angle, even if it is dumb. Like I don't think you could really stretch out the concept of 12 hours is crime legal, baby, because they had apparently the Purge was 12 hours in this, and they wrap it up in about like 40 minutes.
Yeah. Like
it skips from hour 1 to hour 12 in a matter of seconds.
I mean, I think the real issue is just that the Purge is getting a TV show. I don't think...
Yeah, see? It's going to be bad, boy.
I mean, yeah, like you said, the best thing they can do, I mean, the only way to really fill that time would probably be to hit the politics angle hard, but I don't know. I don't see why it needs a TV show. I think this is so bad that it really, as little as I was looking forward to the TV show, now I'm really scared to see what it's going to look like, so... it's just bad. It's just really bad.
But good things. Dimitri, played by Yolan Noel, he's great. He should have been the main character of the movie. He is an expert in the fight scenes. He does such an awesome job. Like, he does a good job acting, does a good job with line delivery. I liked his character a lot. He is a drug dealer, but he also cares about his community, which is kind of like a contradicting point. And he kind of grapples with that a little bit, but since they also introduced Naya and Isaiah as two main characters, they don't really get too much time to flesh out their other character, who's actually good. Naya's actress, Lex Scott Davis, she did a great job. I think Jovian Wade, who played Isaiah, I think he did pretty good too. They completely wasted Marissa Tomei.
Yep.
I don't know, man. It just... I thought we were past this. And I guess I didn't see Truth or Dare, so it could be as bad as this, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, there's just such an opportunity here to make something legitimately good that legitimately speaks to people. Like, can you imagine how upset and, like, what kind of an uproar there would be if they did do a plot where, like, you actually get to see... Like, in Wolfenstein 2, like, when you go to Roswell and you get to kill all those KKK people, or in Mafia 3, you get to do the same thing. Like, it makes such a statement. And they had every opportunity to do that, and because they wrote the movie so poorly, it's not even clear if the people who are dressed as the KKK are actually the KKK, or if the government just told them to dress up like that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you fuck that up?
I mean, that's
embarrassing.
There's all kinds
of
inconsistencies and plot holes and contradictory writing throughout the whole thing, where they'll say something about one character and then they'll just do something completely different, or they just forget about it in the next scene. So it's just... I mean, there's no consistency to it. It feels really, really shoddily thrown together.
Yeah, and I don't know why it's rated R. Like, why do they even push for an R rating on it when they're not going to show any gore at all? Like, it's very tame. It's just very tame.
CGI Blood was terrible. I mean, it was...
You know what I will say, though? Soundtrack was great.
Okay, I did like the soundtrack.
A lot of the establishing shots were pretty good. Except for there's one where this lady is like, is this the end or the beginning on a cardboard sign? And they spin around her for 20 full seconds. I don't get that. I don't know why how many people watched that movie and was like, yeah, sign that, ship it. Like, I don't know, this is stupid. But all the other establishing shots, like there's a church that becomes a critical plot point at one point. It looks really good when they're filming it. Like, they lined up the shot really well. They got the lighting perfect. They got a little bit of fog outside of it. Something really horrific happens there, but they don't show it because I guess it would cost too much money and actually take some talent to show. If you really wanted to get me mad about the bad guys in this movie, I think that would have been a great thing to show. But there's really not that many straight up kills in this movie.
No.
Skeletor sucks.
Skeletor,
what a fucking dumb villain.
Skeletor is really bad. There's one character that's played up as comic relief, and she just feels super out of place whenever she says one of her jokes.
I shit my pants. Ha ha.
I was like, and then the next second they look outside the city and they're like, oh, all these people are coming after us. It's like, oh, okay, so sure. It's just bad. It's so bad.
She pulls like a pirate revolver out of her purse. Like,
I mean,
come on.
It's just there's too much going on and none of it's executed well. All of it's contradictory.
I tweeted this. Yeah. I wish it would commit to doing one genre okay, like, 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Rather than doing two genres, 2 out of 10. Like, it wants to be an action movie, but then it wants to be scary. And it's like, I don't want to be too scary, but I don't want to be too actiony. We got to do some political commentary here.
Yeah, and it's all bad. I mean,
I feel kind of bad saying I want to watch like white supremacists die on screen, but that's really just, I don't feel like there's much argument for that point.
I mean, it would at least be a villain.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
I mean, it's a villain that is very easy to, get behind why they are the bad guy. It's something it wouldn't require almost any setup at all. And
are you afraid to upset them?
Right. Like, what?
Like, why do you try and make them question the fact that they're part of a group that wants to mercilessly kill people just because of the color of their skin? I don't know. I feel like if your whole goal with the Purge is to have social commentary, then have some thoughtful social commentary. It's set up for you. Like, you're pulling from the real world selectively, and you have this great option to really show these people that A, they're wrong, and B, that society is no longer going to tolerate them. And you totally bungled it in the worst imaginable way. I'm going to harp on this point more. The embarrassing thing about it is the fact that they not only didn't go with that, but they didn't even confirm that these people are the KKK. Like,
I'd say
why
so far
did
as to
you
almost say that they're
them?
not.
Yeah, they show them, and then the couple guys get killed, and they pull up their ankles, and they're like, oh, these guys are ex-Blackwater. It's like, so they're just soldiers, and then they kind of dance around the neo-Nazi idea because Dimitri chokes one out and then takes off his helmet, and then he has blonde hair. Ever. It's like, why do you got to be like, now you're gonna try and be subtle? Like, why are they so scared? Like, what are you afraid of? Fucking come out and say it. Say these are neo-Nazis and they should be killed. In the event of a purge, it's like you can go. Like I honestly think that people who are the target of neo-Nazis would be totally fine if a purge movie tackled the subject and showed them dying on screen. I think they'd be fine with it, honestly.
Yeah, and if
right, it's a movie.
And the thing is, like, if a Nazi or a Klansman doesn't want to see your movie, isn't that a good thing?
Yeah, it's. I don't want to accuse Universalists, but it seems like they're scared to lose out on the money they'll make from those people. Like it's like they thought, oh, these people are so stupid. We can put like this little reference to them in there, but they won't really think we're jabbing at them, so they won't be too upset about the movie. It's like. People got mad at Bethesda for Wolfenstein 2 for not doubling down on it being against neo-Nazis, which I actually was on Bethesda's side there because it's a fucking World War II alternate game. So, like, what statement do you really need to make about who the bad guys are?
Yeah.
But this franchise is big. People watch it, they go see it, and it doesn't seem like anyone's really too keen on calling Universal out on this bullshit. Like, I don't think this was Blumhouse. I don't think Blumhouse is really to blame here. I don't think Blumhouse would release a movie in the state that this one was in unless they weren't really given a choice, you know?
Yeah.
Because they've proven time and time again they know what they're doing, and they're on the right side of history, like with the Get Out and stuff. So, like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably backroom politics that we're never going to get any kind of...
This could be such a big franchise. It's big, but it could be so big. It could be Fast and Furious big. Yeah. You know?
But
it sucks.
Yeah. Poor writing and execution really holds it back.
And like, I don't want to get all political. Like, I never talk about politics. I don't think I've ever tweeted or anything about politics once, but... It's a franchise I've seen every entry in. I'm kind of invested in the plotline they've set up, and now I'm just like, I'm really upset that they had such a prime opportunity to do something right with it, and to really, I really think people could have taken a message away from this, but it just wants to be like a popcorn movie more than anything, and it wants to capitalize. It wants to make money off the fact that it's supposedly social commentary, but also by having contradictions in the movie and being the most surface level jokey hokey bullshit, like the pussy grabbing joke. Like,
yeah, I mean, no subtlety, no deep thought about how they actually want any kind of commentary. It's like they want to have political commentary, but they don't know what they want their comment to be, so they just put a bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah, it sucks that in 2018 a movie studio has reservations on making a movie where neo-Nazis and the Ku Klux Klan are the key villains.
Right, like they can't fully commit to having them be the bad guys.
Like, this is embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing, dude. Like, I get that they wanted to make the fascist regime the bad guy, but that doesn't exist. You know? Like, it's not real. Right. It's not a real thing. And you included two very real things and underplayed the shit out of them. And I guess that because this is a prequel, they wanted to, like, you know, show how the NFFA came to be, but they don't even show how it came to be, and they barely even focus on them. All the NFFA shit is like shown through stock footage, and then they're in an office building somewhere.
Yeah, they do very little to explain any of that. And then any kind of politics that they add from their point of view and how they want the purge to play out and all that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a bad movie.
Does it bother you? Like, did the movie, like, me and you, we don't really talk about politics that much, but like, did it just feel kind of disingenuous to you at all? Like, did it bug you? Like, I don't know why, it just felt like kind of dirty to me.
I mean, it just bugged me because it was so bad at everything it tried to do. Like,
it felt like such a cheap shot.
Like, I just think that the Purge series has always been one that, I mean, they don't really try to make a big statement, but they put a bunch of little stuff in there just so you can kind of think about it. And, I mean, we all know that, like, a purge could never happen and it would be morally wrong, but, I mean, the way they write the politics is just so bad. Like, it just feels like they don't want to upset anybody, they don't want to say anything, they don't want to be on anybody's side, but they want to make all these little comments. So it's something where if they would consolidate the series behind one idea and they had a message that they wanted to say and wrote the movie around that and incorporated that in the plot, it'd be much better. But it's something where they're afraid to say anything that would offend someone, so they put a little bit of everything in there, and then it all just comes through as super disingenuous and just really weak.
Yeah, so I think also a big problem with the Purge movies is that they want to be on the scale of the Fast and Furious, right?
Money-wise,
like,
yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's the easiest comparison. But Blumhouse's model is making small movies with big ideas on small budgets. So the budget of this was $13 million, but they want to have an ensemble cast going. They want to shoot in New York City. They want it to be a big event, but it doesn't have the budget for it, and it shows. And if you look at Fast and Furious 8, Fate of the Furious or whatever, that movie's budget was $250 million.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you really want to commit to this being a big franchise, you got to commit to it being a big franchise and put some fucking real money behind it. You got Platinum Dunes as one of the production companies. Michael Bay couldn't pony up a couple more million for this one, you know? You got Blumhouse as a production company, and you got Universal as a distributor.
Right.
None of those people are hurting for cash.
No, those are all definitely big companies with a lot of money to spend. So, you know, if it's something where they think that this would be a series that putting that much money behind would return them a lot, I just think that they've always made them for cheap, and then they come back massively returned. Because it's like the first, like this movie, like you said, budget's like around $13 million. They made that in the first day, like easily, no question.
Yeah, the Purge Anarchy was a budget of $11.8 million, and its box office was $111.9 million.
Yeah, so I mean, they make insane return on investment on these movies. So I don't think they're ever going to put that big money behind it. They're just going to keep pumping stuff like this out because people are just going to go see it just because it's an annual series at this point.
Yeah. Box office so far is $43 million, so they did pretty good on it.
Yep, for sure. I mean, it there's no question it was going to make money.
Remember the C4 explosion that doesn't leave anything burned at all?
Remember how he shot C4 to detonate it?
Wasn't that on Mythbusters that doesn't work?
It does not work. Plastic explosives are not. and they make it a point early in the movie to say, we have this C4 with a remote detonator, and then they don't remotely detonate it. They just shoot it with a gun, and the C4 doesn't explode when you shoot it with a gun.
Yeah. I like it in the credits when they felt the need to include a line about there being like the Purge becoming a national thing every year, an annual thing. No shit. It's the fucking prequel to 3 movies. I don't think you need to tell me that there's going to be more Purges. This guy, did you say for that? Did you see it?
Yeah, for the mid-roll.
So everyone did a good job on this Purge. There's going to be more. See you next year.
I mean, it's just like, so... I don't know if they just assume that the audience is so stupid that they won't understand any kind of message at all, so they just have to spoon feed this dribble or what, but like this one was just so bad writing wise and message wise that I can't really get behind it in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, the guy who directed it, his name is Gerard McMurray, and he directed Burning Sands.
Sure, that's a gem.
And Battle Buddy.
Great. Those sound great.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Time to just put this one, take it out back.
Yeah. I would say this is easily the worst movie in the Purge series, and I'd give it a 1 out of 5.
Possibly Blumhouse's worst movie.
I haven't seen Truth or Dare, but possibly.
Yeah. I gave it a 1.
Yes.
Because of Dimitri. He gave it a whole star. So, yeah, if you want to know whether or not you should see this movie, answer's no. Don't see it.
Yep, I wouldn't even spend a movie pass on it. I just really think it's not good at all.
Yeah, guys, but next week's movie, I think we'll do a spoiler review of it. You should just buy the Blu-ray now. It's called The Endless. That might be the best movie I've seen all year, honestly. Like, that is a fucking 10 out of 10 movie. I loved it. We're going to talk about it next week, so if you want to get ahead on that, you should definitely go buy the Blu-ray for The Endless. Like, no question. George, you haven't seen it, right?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
All right, so yeah, you all y'all, just watch this movie before we talk about it. That's all I'm going to say. It's a crazy movie. It's awesome. It's really good. So we'll have a good, exciting show for you next week. Do you want to close us out, George?
Yeah. As always, come back next week for more horror news and reviews, and you never know who might be listening.